Governor Saludo calls for sober reflection as the nation commemorates Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Archbishop Ibe Zim of the Niger province admonishes Christians to live a life of prayer and faith. Federal government holds 2023 Technology and Innovation Expo in Abuja. In South America, Peru declares state of emergency in Lima over protest. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround the maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning. Welcome to the News at 7 right here on EBS Television. I am Priska Onko. Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has called for sober reflection as the nation commemorates the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. An event was held at Dr. Alex Ekwembe Square in Awka to celebrate the 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Government House correspondent AGK Abana has the details.
The day began with the governor's inspection of Guard of Honor, gun salute, wreath-laying ceremony, and release of pigeons, which signifies peace. According to the governor, who expressed his stand in solidarity with the families of officers who paid the supreme price defending the nation, stressed that as a people, Nigeria cannot forget their efforts.
Today calls for sober reflection as we remember and celebrate our fallen heroes in the Army, the Navy, Air Force, the police, and the Secret Service, who paid the supreme sacrifice in defense of our collective liberties and rights, as well as those of humanity around the world. We also continue to stand in solidarity with the spouses and family members of the fallen heroes. As a people, the nation will never forget. We can never, as a people, take for granted the great sacrifices of our fallen heroes. In dying for us to live, the heroes are etched forever on the pages of our history. Helping to liberate, as we know, the 8 local governments that were completely taken captive before our government was sworn in, and helping to maintain security around the entire state. At this moment, let me on behalf of the people of Anambra State, pay special tribute to all those who have lost their lives in the determined fight to eliminate criminality in our dear state. May their souls rest in peace.
The governor emphasized that the armed forces deserve commendations and appreciated the security forces in the state for helping liberate the 8 local government areas almost taken over by hoodlums before his administration came, and helping them to keep the state calm. He commended the gallantry, professionalism and massive support of the armed forces and sent a message to miscreants terrorizing Hill and Axis to desist, stressing that the state is determined to take back the state.
Let me also commend the gallantry, professionalism and massive support of all the security agencies operating in Anambra State. Your immense sacrifice and devotion will forever be treasured by the great people of Anambra State. To the criminals around the state and around the country, especially the few miscreants terrorizing parts of EDL and local government in particular, we use this moment to assure you that light and darkness can never coexist. You will never break our will as we are determined to take back our state fully.
Members of the State Executive Council, service chiefs in the state, among others, attended the event. From Dr. Alex Ekwembe Square, Awka, AGK Abana, ABS News.
Candidates of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, in the forthcoming general elections have promised mainstream progressive leadership if elected in order to enthrone a better society. They made the promise in Awka at the official flag-off of APGA National Campaign ahead of the 2023 general elections slated to hold on the 25th of February and 11th of March respectively. Joseph Ebocha reports that thousands of party faithful from within and outside the state attended the event that had the presence of the BOT chairman of APGA and former governor of Anambra State, Chief Willie Obiano, members of APGA National Working Committee, government functionaries, among others.
Speaking shortly after receiving APGA flag from the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, the member representing Anocha, Njikoka, and Dunukofia Federal Constituency, and APGA candidate for Anambra Central Senatorial District, Honorable Dozie Nwankwo, and the member representing Anambra East and West Federal Constituency, Honorable Chinedu Ebidige, who is also the APGA candidate for the same position, said that their interest is to continue providing quality representation to their constituents.
As a representative of the people, you know the impulse of the people. You know what the people want from you to do. We have done a lot of jobs. I've done a lot of things. And I'm going there as a Senate. You know, we are there to make laws.
APGA candidate for Idemili North and South Federal Constituency, Chief Ikenna Iyebu, and APGA candidate for Njikoka 2 Constituency, Chief Jude Apwa, who noted that the party has made tremendous progress in the state, promised to key into the progressive ideology in order to offer their constituents, Anambra State, and Nigeria at large their best for a better society, focusing on youth educational empowerment as well as improved healthcare system, among others.
I have this vision to uplift the people, the downtrodden, to do the work, that human capital development that is lacking in our community, in our constituency all this while, which we have been doing as individuals, as family, as a company. I want to bring it to bear.
On their part, the APGA candidate for Abuja senatorial seats, Chief Anthony Ezehugo, APGA candidate for Ojo Federal Constituency, Lagos State, Chief Thank-God Ibe, and APGA candidate for Idemili South Constituency, Sir Ebuka Igwe, promised not to disappoint the people when voted into office.
The double and the multiple taxation that we are all suffering under in Abuja is not just only affecting the Igbos or affecting the Hausas or affecting the Yorubas. It is affecting everybody alike, both the indigenous and the non-indigenous. So with me as the next senator of FCT will bring down drastically the double and the multiple taxation in FCT.
They called on people with progressive mindset to join APGA in making Anambra and Nigeria at large a better place.
The parishioners of the Church of the Pentecost Ukbo in Dunukofia local government area and the entire Ukbo Anglican community, like King Solomon, have said that a prayer that your eyes may be opened towards this temple night and day, and may you hear the supplication of your servants and of your people when they pray towards this place. They made this prayer at the dedication of the church building of the Church of Pentecost Ukbo by the Archbishop, Province of the Niger, Most Reverend Alexander Ibezim, who led all the bishops and members of the clergy to the service of Thanksgiving. Religion correspondent Amaka Chibuzo Okoye filed in this report taken from her.
Most Reverend Ibezim, who gave the advice during a pastoral visit to our Saviour's Church, Oka, said there is nothing impossible for God to do, calling on the faithful to have absolute faith in God. He called for expansion of churches where people will go to seek solutions in times of need. Most Reverend Ibezim encouraged the faithful not to turn their churches as a mere place, rather ensure that the Holy Spirit dwells among the people to guide, protect, direct and lead them to the paths of righteousness. The Archbishop maintained that no Christian should allow the conditions of their lives to stop them from serving God. vicar of the church, Reverend Azubike Mbuike, expressed joy on the visit, which he said has enriched them.
A 3-day training workshop on good agricultural practices for 2022 to 2023 dry season rice farmers in Anambra State has ended in Awka, the state capital. The training workshop, organized by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in collaboration with IFAD Assisted Value Chain Development Program, is purely for Rural Post-Stimulus Facilities, RPSF, and the 2022 to 2023 dry season rice farmers in Anambra State under the IFAD VCDP. Agri-correspondent Chibuzo Obidike completes the story.
Declaring the training workshop open, the State Program Coordinator, Federal Government IFAD VCDP, Mr. Nnamdi Agwoncha, described the capacity building workshop as a tradition by IFAD after input disbursement to inculcate new interventions in the beneficiaries to avoid mistakes. Mr. Agwoncha assured the readiness of IFAD VCDP to ensure that they did not deviate from the state government's interest in promoting organic agriculture on the fate of farmers that suffered losses during the last year's flooding. Mr. Agwoncha, who encouraged them not to lose hope, affirmed that they must be indemnified as the National Agri Insurance Corporation is still very busy with identification, assessment and verification of their farm.
Praying for safety of what you eat. The word is saying eat healthy. Some of these chemicals, organic fertilizer, organic chemicals we use, inorganic, chemical fertilizer and chemical pesticide we use, they are harmful, they are toxic, and the earlier we reduce their use, the better for us, the better for the environment, the better for the human beings who are consuming all these things.
Taking participants on good agronomical practices on rice production in Nigeria, a resource person, Dr. Michael Nasamu, who disclosed that they were contracted by IFAD VCDP at Abuja to build the capacity of dry season rice farmers, announced that the training workshop is simultaneously taking place across the 9 participating states in Nigeria. Dr. Nasamu, while expressing joy that Anambra State has a good number of dry season farmers, advised them to start by getting their inputs, tools, labors, money for production ready before going into land preparation, planting, fertilizer application, water and field management activities, pre and post harvest, among others.
Rice is a staple crop, and we can no longer depend on rice produced by rainfall. If you have a farmer who planted during the dry season, at least he has something to fall back on. So I think going forward, it will be very, very important that farmers learn dry season rice production and give priority to it.
Contributing, the State Agri Production Officer, Federal Government IFAD VCDP, Mr. Emmanuel Chukwukwelu, unveiled that they have increased their demo plots for practical demonstration on best ways to achieve good agronomical practices on rice and cassava farming.
Training is a continuous program, and capacity building must continue. And you have to remind farmers, you have to remind them, so that they will do the correct and then get a better harvest. That is why we continue to do this, so that they manage their farm and make more gain out of their inputs.
For some of the participants, including Mr. Chibuzo Obiechina from Umweri in Anambra East Council area, Mrs. Bridget Oji from Ufuma, Orumba North Council area, and their counterpart from Obaru Council area, Mr. Uzoma Njoku, the training workshop worked more than they imagined and called for more of it. The training workshop climaxed with field visits where participants were taken through the practical aspects of what they were taught in the classroom. In Awka, Chibuzo Obidike, ABS News.
The federal government has assured that all is now set for the 2023 Technology and Innovation Expo, built to hold at Abuja next week. The Technology and Innovation Expo is tagged actualizing an effective diversification of the Nigerian economy through science, technology, and innovation. Correspondent Ekwi Ajide reports.
If the objectives of the Expo, to among other things, include encouraging interaction between researchers, innovators and investors with a view to commercializing research results and innovations from Africa's research and tertiary institutions, the capabilities of Nigeria scientists, engineers, innovators and inventors in contributing to the economic diversification of Nigeria. He revealed that the Expo, whose previous editions have been yielding desired results, would ensure that Nigeria is industrialized by the year 2030 and will be sustained to come up with products that can solve national problems.
Through science and technology, our country can be enhanced if we divert. This will guarantee industrialization and create jobs for our teeming youth, which we are lacking today. And Mr. President is very, very serious about it. The ministry are committed in doing that. So we must diversify. When we diversify our economy through science and technology, production can be enhanced. We are going to move from consuming nature to production nature. Ultimately, we begin to export our goods outside the country.
Earlier in her remarks, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, Mrs. Monilola Udo, said the flagship program of the ministry, initiated by President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, has supported promotion of technology transfer in the country since inauguration in 2017. In Abuja, Princess Ekwi Ajide reporting.
The nation's sports economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council, in collaboration with the Union of African Shippers Councils, has concluded plans to hold the 9th edition of African Shippers Day in Lagos. The event is scheduled to hold from January to Wednesday this week, 2023, at Lagos. The program, with the theme African Continental Free Trade Agreement, a veritable platform for African shippers to mainstream into global trade, will be declared open by President Muhammadu Buhari, while the Minister of Transportation, Engineer Muazu Jaji Sembo, is the chief host. Head Public Relations Unit, Nigerian Shippers Council, Rakia Adekiru Yabo Yaju, in a statement said that the Secretary General, African Continental Free Trade Agreement, FCFTA, Mr. Wamkele Mene, would make a presentation on the topic Vehicle for Africa's Economic Growth and Development. The African Shippers Day is primarily aimed at creating a forum for the exchange of ideas and experiences among shippers in the West and Central African sub-regions, discussions on issues that will improve maritime trade, and disseminating information on the role of shippers councils and UASC. Peru's government has declared a state of emergency in the capital, Lima, and 3 other regions following protests which have killed at least 42 people in recent weeks. The measure announced is enforced for 30 days and authorizes the army to intervene to maintain order and suspend several constitutional rights, such as freedom of movement and assembly. Protests against President Dina Boluarte have gripped the South American nation since leftist former President Pedro Castillo was removed from office in December and detained after he tried to illegally dissolve Congress. He was replaced in the president's position by Boluarte, who was vice president. Castillo supporters marched and barricaded streets around the country for weeks, demanding that new elections be held and for Boluarte to step down. Castillo was being investigated in several fraud cases during his tenure, has been remanded in custody for 18 months, charged with rebellion. Flying Eagles head coach Ladan Bosso will now submit his final 21-man list for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations on January 25. All the 12 participating countries were earlier expected to submit their final list on January 20. An official of the team, however, revealed to us that the deadline for submission is now January 25. This new date will allow several foreign-based clubs to come in to be considered for places on the party to Egypt. The Flying Eagles are also due to embark on a training tour of Morocco by the end of this month before they hit Egypt. The Flying Eagles will face host Egypt, Mozambique and Senegal in Group A. They opened their under-20 AFCON campaign on February 19 against fellow West Africans, Senegal, host Egypt, Mozambique, and the other teams in Group A. The remains of late Mrs. Catherine Ugochukwu has been laid to rest in her family's compound at Nsago, Omunze, in Urumbasad local government area. The late Mrs. Ugochukwu was aged 84. Correspondent Chukwemeka Modelim was there and now reports. ABS many part of the world by logging onto our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television Oka. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website. It's www.absradiotv.com. To end the news this morning, a recap of the main points. Governor Soludo has called for sober reflection as the nation commemorates Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Archbishop Ibezim of the Niger province has admonished Christians to live a life of prayer and faith. Federal government holds 2023 Technology and Innovation Expo in Abuja. In South America, Peru have declared a state of emergency in Lima over protests. Here is the special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround the maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's it on News at 7 right here on ABS Television. Thanks for watching. I am Priska Wampo. Good morning.